In this video, we'll talk about Chapter 15 on veal. Veal is the meat of young, usually male calves, which are byproducts of our dairy industry. Calves that are female are then kept to produce milk for us, our dairy products. So males then typically go into our veal industry. Young veal has a very firm texture, but a light pink color, not nearly as dark red as you would find in beef. And it has very little fat, but being so tender because of a young age, the little fat, the little marbling, is not as much of a factor of trying to keep it moist. It really has a delicate flavor, so it's complemented really a lot by just classic and modern sauces. Italy uses veal for one of its main proteins. Nutrition. It's really a major source of protein. Again, just like we had with beef, the niacin, zinc, and the B vitamins. Again, it has less marbling, so it tends to be a leaner cut of meat, sometimes even leaner than many cuts of pork and chicken. Here are the primal cuts of veal. Veal is broken down into 5 primal cuts instead of the 8 that we found in the cow. Here you'll see the shoulder is called the shoulder, not the chuck. The rib is still this rib portion with just the loin. There's no sirloin section here. The back end area here is called the leg rather than the round as we found in the cow. And the foreshank and breast are all combined here. Now again, these are the primal cuts. Subprimals from this then would be from the leg. The most common one I use is the top round. A veal top round here we would cut into thin cutlets to make a lot of different dishes with. With the veal, you can see here the grains. These grains over the picture are going in the direction left to right. So in slicing these cutlets, I'm going to cut vertically up and down so as to go against the grain. This next sheet here, this is showing the retail cuts. Again, the fabricated cuts, the small individual cuts that would be cooked and that are coming from each section. So you have what is coming from the rib here, mainly the short ribs and the rib chops. There's also a crown roast and then a boneless rib roast. From the leg area, you would have top round steaks. Again, that top round broken down into thinner steaks. Round steaks and leg cutlets as well. The loin area would produce mainly loin chops and the roast. Sirloin will produce the sirloin steaks. Some are very strategically named here. At the bottom then, you will get to the shoulder, and here is a shoulder roast, a shoulder eye roast, a blade steak, an arm steak or arm roast. You have the foreshank and breast area in the center bottom. That is where you're going to get the ossobuco cut from. And then on the right, your miscellaneous veal for stew, again, ground meat, cubes, fajita meat, that type of items. Here are some veal cookery pictures for us. On the top left, a very classical dish, veal saltimbocca. Again, Italy has a lot of dishes centered around veal. The veal saltimbocca has fresh sage, prosciutto, as well as sometimes some provolone cheese, but it's very thin cutlets of veal. In the center here is veal Milanese, if you're talking Italian, or Wiener Schnitzel, if you're talking German. Wiener Schnitzel commonly and classically is made with veal, but also pork is another option for their cutlets, as us Americans call them. On the right, you have ossobuco. The ossobuco, again, is going to be the leg cut. It's very difficult to see, but the leg bone is still included in here, and then you have a large muscle on this side, a large muscle on that side. This is over some nice polenta. On the bottom left, this is a veal chop. So you can see it's coming from the rib portion and also includes the entire rib bone here. So this is going to be a super tender cut of meat, so definitely dry heat cookery. A lot of times the veal tenderloin, the veal loin is going to be pounded out and then filled, a nice spinach roulade here, rolled, breaded, pan fried, and then served with a tomato sauce. On the right, veal parmesan. I feel most of us are familiar with that dish. Breaded veal cutlets and then with a little tomato sauce. Our fresh marinara, fresh mozzarella, and basil there. Again, looking forward to a veal cookery lab.